So the Ticats win 37-7 over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Saturday in Winnipeg, and frankly, this is a game that couldn't have gone much better for the Ticats. Henry Brunis played well in his 30 minutes of action, threw 2 touchdown passes, completed 17 of 24 passes, and ran around a little bit as well, and generally speaking looked quite confident and comfortable in the pocket. He'll need to play well in the playoffs, and one of the reasons why head coach Kent Austin even played him in this game that didn't mean anything in the standings was to get him into a rhythm and get him comfortable and get him playing confidently, and I think that he accomplished that. I mean, Henry played well enough to win this game for the Ticats, and I think hopefully found a little bit of the mojo that he's sort of been missing the second half of the season. Other good news for the Ticats is they came through this game relatively injury-free. A couple of guys got nicked up, special teamer Mark Beswick, defensive tackle Hazan Hazimi, but neither one of those guys seemed injured to the point where they won't be able to play next week. Both guys, I think, should be ready to play, and the Ticats sat 12 starters in this game, and that proved to be something that was a smart decision by head coach Kent Austin. I mean, those guys are obviously going to be well rested for the game next Sunday against Montreal, and the guys that replaced them played well enough to win, to blow a team out, in fact. And the defense, which was resting at least a half a dozen starters, played really well. And we're talking about guys who are a little bit lower in the depth chart, who don't get a chance to play that often, and certainly don't play together. And they generated 6 turnovers and held Winnipeg without a major score. And generally speaking, I think played very well considering the circumstances. And so this team, I think, didn't need this win necessarily, and they certainly didn't need a big win like this. I think that had they lost this game, they still would have felt confident going into the game against Montreal. But it certainly doesn't hurt. I'll say that. I think that it puts them in an even better position in terms of confidence. They've now won 4 out of the last 5, all against Eastern Division teams. And I think they feel like they're rolling. You could tell in the locker room after the game that it's a confident bunch. They're having fun, and they feel well prepared. They feel as though they can make adjustments that they need to make during the game, and that they can be effective in doing that. And I think that was a big thing in this game in particular. A couple of guys said that the Bombers threw out some wrinkles that they weren't expecting, and the Ticats were able to make the adjustments and be effective. So another good sign for the Ticats. Obviously, the big thing is the playoffs. The game is next Sunday at 1 o'clock against the Alouettes, Eastern semifinal, and that will really be the big test for this team. It's been a year of steady progression. 10 wins is something this team hasn't done since 2001, and they've shown progress more or less throughout the year. There have been some hiccups, yes, some step backwards, no question, but overall there's been a general progression from where they started the season to where they are now. So the question is, can the team that showed up today, that played well in the second half against Montreal, the team that played well in the 2 games against Toronto at the end of the year, is that the team that shows up on Sunday against Montreal? If it is, then they got a chance. They have a chance to go a long way in these playoffs if that's the team that shows up. So that's what you hope for. This game certainly helped them stay on that track. That's all that this game could have accomplished, and that's what it did. Reporting from Investors Group Field in Winnipeg for the Hamilton Spectator, I'm Drew Edwards.